Tanner's Corvette conked out with minimal warning. The electrical system gave a few foretelling death throes, and then the engine died. His surroundings had all the hallmarks of being in the middle of nowhere, including no cell service. Reviewing his options, Tanner noticed a roadside mailbox at the end of a treed lane that led deeply into the woods. Hoping it would lead to some type of residence, he muscled his car to the shoulder of the road and then walked up the lane. After 20 minutes, it opened up into a large clearing. Though there was a house, the presence of large outbuildings left Tanner with the impression that a business was run out of the property. He caught the eye of a middle-aged man who, understandably, was surprised at the sight of him. Curious, but not concerned, he asked Tanner if he was in need of any help. As Tanner recounted events, the two men managed to weave in introductions. Sympathetic to the predicament, the middle-aged man, Connor, offered to send one of the farm hands into town to fetch the mechanic, apologizing that they were off-grid and lacked many modern conveniences, even a landline. Connor called to his wife, Maribel, to join the two. He introduced the pair and then went off in search of someone available to ride into town. Making conversation, Tanner asked Maribel what type of farm it was. Mushroom, she said, and then went on to regale him with the wonders of fungus, concluding with the caution that there was a dark side. Psychedelics? Tanner offered. Predatorial, she responded. For example, the cordyceps fungus takes control of an ant, compelling it to leave its colony and climb vegetation, anchoring itself in place as a living host to be eaten alive. Just ants? Tanner asked. A noteworthy preference. Then there is the honey mushroom, she continued, which fells trees and drains them of their nutrients. It grows to a monstrous size, covering over 1,000 acres with genetically identical mushrooms and living for thousands of years. A taste for bugs and a taste for trees? Any fungus with a taste for humans? Tanner asked. Ever hear tell of athlete's foot? Oh, right. We have a monster round here, Maribel said. Of the honey mushroom variety? Similar. It's big, it's ancient, and it creates a powerful supplement. You wouldn't believe how old Connor and I are. Tanner was intrigued. Close by? The Whispering Woods. It's just forest, Connor said, as he was walking toward the two. Wind, rustling leaves, and people with time on their hands. There's a trail. Starts at the end of our property. It leads to a waterfall. You may want to take a stroll. It'll be a bit before a tow truck gets out here. Lured more by the thought of seeing the great platoon of genetically identical mushrooms than the waterfall, Tanner accepted the advice and wandered off into the woods. He soon found himself enveloped by the insulating silence of the forest, too deep for the outside world to penetrate. The path led down through a sprawling ground fog into a ravine. It was while within the rolling mist that he began to hear the playful giggles of a young woman. He called out to her, but she only giggled in response. In the mist, he was unable to see her, but he had a general sense of where the woman was, and walked in her direction as he introduced himself. While strolling through the underbrush, he came upon a clump of beautifully luminescent mushrooms. Captivated, he crouched down and touched one of the caps with his index finger. A surge of electricity discharged into his body, locking his muscles. When the jolt ended, he fell to the ground in convulsions. His thoughts scrambled and his body unresponsive. Tanner was unable to muster any response as he was swallowed alive into the mycelial mat of the monstrous fungus. And so, dear viewers, remain vigilant, for not all predators roar, some wait patiently, lulling their prey with an innocuous guise and a handshake before sending them off to their death.